We dance as the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry icy's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. The CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's pure delight.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show, which is show number 2. If you missed it earlier today, after the show, go back and watch the show I did earlier this morning with Richard Skimmon. Anyway, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave, and I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. Like I said, live from the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties, or excuse me, Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Check out Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. It's getting warm. The grass is going to start growing. You want that flower bed cleaned out of all the leaves you didn't get out last year. Some nice mulch put down. Your shrubs trimmed up. A paper patio put in. Anything you want for lawn and landscaping, give Priority a call at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. You can also check them out on Facebook. What is up to everybody in the chat? We've got Brandon there, Tony Blades in, Michael Madden. What is up, guys? All right, I titled the show, and I put it at the top of the comments here. I'll bring it up there. Bengals snubbed again. Super Bowl weekend. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Willie, disrespected. What is going on? Joe Burrow finished 4th, I think, for what I heard, 4th in the MVP race. 4th. He had the best stretch of 5 games at any quarterback. He had the better numbers of any quarterback in the league. Now, I did not expect him to win. Don't get me wrong. I expected Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen to be higher. But 4th? That's crazy. Jamar Chase, your Triple Crown winner? I don't understand. Big Willie. This is the biggest one. Big Willie. There's only 4 guys. 4. One of the smallest classes they've had since, I don't know, the early 2000s. 4 guys got in. How is Big Willie not your 5th? And I'm fine with the 4. It's how is Willie not one of those 4? This is crazy. The disrespect for the Cincinnati Bengals is unreal. I can't wait till Zim Hude gets here. He's going to be here closer to 6 o'clock before he jumps on, and we'll get his thoughts on this. Other thing I want to know for you guys, it's Friday. It's the Friday right before Super Bowl. All right, this is the way I want to put it. Most people watching this show are Bengals fans, and I think all of us do not want the Chiefs to win. 99.999% of us don't want the Chiefs to win. I do not want the Chiefs to win. I can't stand them. But who do you really think is going to win? Now, like I said, my fandom says Eagles, fly, Eagle, fly. But if you really look at it position by position, the Eagles are the better team. The Eagles were the better team 2 years ago. when they were in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. The 49ers, the sucky Niners, were the better team last year. The Chiefs still beat them. Now, I want you guys to remember something. 2 years ago, when the Chiefs beat the Eagles, what happened? The Eagles stopped them, but all of a sudden there was a pass interference against the Eagles. That would have got the Chiefs off the field. But no, there's a flag. Pass interference against the Eagles. I made it 1st and goal. Then a couple plays later, they score a touchdown, get a field goal, win the thing. And if you guys have watched my show and subscribe, by the way, hit the likes, hit the subscription. I greatly appreciate it. I did a live right after that Super Bowl. I was so pissed off. Now, this was right after I just went to Kansas City and watched the Bengals barely lose to the Chiefs by 3 points in Burrow. That is what finally the national media and other people are starting to realize, that the Chiefs always get bailed out. I don't want to say always, but 90% of the time get bailed out by calls by the refs. I've been banging the drum for this for years. Roger Goodell, if I can have a sit-down conversation with him, this is one thing I would love to. I want to know the answer. I've heard his answer, but I want to know its real answer, other than they don't want to spend the money on it. Why don't we have full-time referees? Why don't we have these guys all off-season working on getting better at their job? Why is a flag in the first quarter not a flag in the fourth quarter, or vice versa? If it's a penalty in the first quarter, it should be a penalty in the fourth quarter. This is what NFL fans want. We want consistency. And I know if there's Chiefs fans out there, I get it. I totally get it. And you guys are sick and tired of hearing about this. I understand. I would be too if I were you guys. You're like, we're a really good team. We won 7 straight AFC championship games. We're about to win our 4th Super Bowl, yada, yada, yada. Which you are. You're a really good team. But you can't argue with what happens. You know, Joe Burrow got asked this week about the flag week 2 in Kansas City. He kind of said, that might not get thrown in the first quarter, but it got thrown in the fourth. It shouldn't. If it's not a penalty in the first quarter, it's not a penalty in the second quarter. If you're going to let them play in the first quarter, you got to let them play in the fourth quarter. That's what the problem is. And if you go back to the 2021 or 2022 Super Bowl, and it wasn't even a tug. I mean, I think he just barely grabbed the guy. I don't think his jersey moved that much. I mean, yes, he grabbed him. He did. But it's not something you normally would call. And that's what irritates Bengals fans, NFL fans in general, that the Chiefs always get these calls. Go back to week 2. It's a 50-50 call. It is. Thing is, though, you need 50-50 calls to be called the same way. Somehow they got to figure that out. And the NFL needs to do a better job of that, especially when you have people losing money on this. You guys are the ones that went ahead and decided that people can gamble on the NFL. I've done it a couple of times. I'm not a big gambler, but I've done it. You got to get this stuff right. You have the biggest product in the world. Everybody's going to watch the Super Bowl. And guess what? Everybody is going to be waiting. That's rooting against the Chiefs. It's going to be waiting for that yellow flag to fly in there. And a holding call, pass interference, roughing the passer. Something is most likely going to happen. And it's going to go in the Chiefs' favor. And it's going to help them have a chance to win the Super Bowl. Because it's happened over and over and over again. It's ridiculous. Chiefs fans, you can get mad at me all you want. I don't care. It's facts. Go back and look at stuff. All right, let's get to some of the chat here. My boy Chandler. I love it. He says, Chiefs by 1,000. I don't love that. I hate that. I thought you were saying the other way around. He's probably right, but I'm hoping. The thing is, I really think he wants the Eagles to win, but he's probably thinking the Chiefs are going to win, which is kind of where I'm at. I want the Eagles to win, but I think the Chiefs are going to win. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Let's see. Oh, my prosa. I know. I have a hard time reading stuff sometimes. Anyway, Talk about Jamar Chase here. I'm not worried. Jamar Chase will win another triple crown, which he could. I mean, the way I don't doubt that. The way he's playing, the way him and Burrow were playing at the end of the season, it's just going to roll into next year. Hopefully, they just got to get off to a better start. Let's see here. What we got next? Go down the line here. Mike Rosen. I saw they changed the voting process for the Hall of Fame. Willie deserves to be in. All right, this is one thing I wanted. Corey Dillon said this on Monday's show. I'm sorry, and I know. I can't remember. Not Peter Vesey. He used to be working here in Cincinnati. He's a big sports columnist now. Anyway, he was on some radio show I was listening to, and he used to be an NFL voter, and he stopped doing it because he got tired of all the criticism toward Hall of Fame voters. But it's legit. And Corey Dillon said this on Monday's show. Who are these guys? Who are these ladies? Who are they? Why can't we get their names, publish who they are, and who they voted for? Why is this so secretive? I don't get this. Like, you only let 4 guys in. 4. And Willie Anderson can't be the 5th? I don't understand. I mean, and next year we got Geno Atkins who's going to be up. This is what I'm worried about. We still have got Ken Anderson in. Big Willie should have already been in. Corey Dillon should have already been in. Geno Atkins should be. I don't think Geno's going to be a first ballot. I don't think he deserves that, but he definitely deserves to be because he changed the game. He changed the position. They draft guys like Geno Atkins because of Geno Atkins. Geno Atkins was Aaron Donald before Aaron Donald was. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. We're getting clogged up for people that should be in the Hall of Fame for the Cincinnati Bengals. Ken Anderson should have been in years ago, 20 years ago. Ken Anderson should have been in. Willie should have been in at least the last 5 years. He should have been in. This year and last year, there's no reason why he shouldn't be in there. I would love somebody to give me an explanation of why you only went with 4 people and you could have put Willie in as a 5th. Makes absolutely no sense. And nobody's going to explain it to us. You know, we don't, and they feel like they don't have to explain themselves, which is bullcrap. Sure you do. You should you should absolutely have to explain yourself why you decided to not have Willie Anderson in the Hall of Fame. It's crazy. He was the best right tackle of his position. And I know the talk is, well, back in, when Willie played, right tackles weren't, as high thought of as left tackles. Who cares? Who gives a crap? He was the best right tackle in his era. He was. Put him in the Hall of Fame. I don't care if he was right tackle, left tackle. He was the best player at his position. Put him in, and you only let 4 guys in? Come on. Corey Dillon, it's been one of the best running backs. And that's the thing with Corey and Willie. Oh, they were on bad teams. And they were the best players on those bad teams. That makes it even more impressive what they did. So there's no excuse that makes any sense to me as to why Willie's not in, Corey's not in, Ken Anderson's not in. It makes no sense. It's extremely frustrating as a Bengals fan because you're sitting here and look, yeah, we went to 3 Super Bowls. We've actually went to 3 Super Bowls. There's lots of teams that have never been to a Super Bowl. Yeah, we lost all 3 of them, and they were all very close. Some of the best Super Bowls you'll watch. And I think they hold that against us. I think people don't like Mike Brown. I don't know. None of that bias should come into when it comes to individually voting for Ken Anderson, Willie Anderson, and Corey Dillon. Whatever you think of the organization they played for, whatever you think of how many championships they haven't won, that should not matter at all to a Hall of Fame voter. You're going into the Hall of Fame, it's an individual award. That's all that should matter. That's it. Nothing else should. Corey Dillon was one of the best running backs at his position, if not the best during his time. Willie Anderson was the best right tackle at his position during his time. Bar none. Despite how the bad their team was or any of that stuff. It doesn't make any sense. All right, let me get the scroll up here. Try to get to some of your comments here. Let's see here. Oh, wait. Let's go to Chris. Roger has to go. they really turn over the NFL, turning the NFL into the WWE. It just seems all set up. That's a good thing. That goes back to is it scripted? I have a hard time believing that it's scripted. I don't believe it's scripted. I do believe they favor certain teams, certain organizations over other ones. And this is coming from a Bengals fan who we're not one of the ones they favor. Why they do that, I don't know. Because when the Bengals are in prime time, they're one of the most watched teams in the NFL this year. So what's that mean for the NFL? Money. That puts more money in all the owners' pockets. That should mean they want to promote them more. They want them to do good. But for some reason, it doesn't. Now, I'm not blaming any of this, the Bengals season, on any of the referees. It was all the Bengals' fault. They got off to a 1-4 start, and they're 4-8 at one time. That's all. That's on the Bengals. But as far as the snubbing goes, and all that, I mean, if Willie Anderson got in, this city would go nuts. We love Willie Anderson. If Ken Anderson finally got in, we'd go nuts. Corey Dillon got in, we'd go nuts. Give us that. I don't understand why you can't have Willie in when you only let 4 guys in. I just, that little, it's the amount of people they let in is 4, and Willie Anderson, 1 isn't one of them, 2 isn't the 5th guy. It's just, you did all that talking and you elected 4 guys? I mean, this is the year to get more guys in, because I guess there's no big deal. Eli Manning is a big name. I personally don't think he deserves to be a first ballot. I don't. So I was okay with that. I think he deserves to be in. He had 2 of the greatest Super Bowl wins in NFL history. You know, I do think he deserves to be in, but I don't think he's first ballot. Willie's been on the ballot for, I don't know, 10 years, maybe 7 years, something like that. It's long enough. You don't let 4 guys in. Willie should have been one of them. All right, let's see here. What else we got going on? More Goodell for Chris. Goodell has his teams. They're named the Chiefs. Yeah. And things look, you guys can call me crazy. I don't like what is happening to the Bengals, but I honestly think Goodell is a damn good commissioner. I do. All the NFL has done is grow. I have issues with how the Bengals get treated, how the refereeing is. I have issues that I would like him to address and to fix. That would be nice. But I do think he's probably the best commissioner in all. Rob Manfred is awful. I cannot stand that clown. He doesn't even know what baseball is, if you're going to talk about commissioners here. Natty Ron, what's up? Cincinnati is not respected well in the national media, especially in the NFL. Yeah, I mean, funny thing, like, it's starting to change a little bit. Now, I'll put it to you this way. Because Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they're respected, and they come with the Bengals. So that part's changing a little bit. Now, I'll say this. With what Stephen A. said or asked Joe on First Take yesterday, and I've been talking about this a lot. Joe wants to keep all his guys. I think it can happen. Stephen A. came out and asked, do you trust the organization? Joe said yes. Stephen doesn't. If the Bengals pull this off and sign everybody and are able to add in the offseason, that, to me, is going to go a long ways to changing the narrative that this is a cheap team. Is this flashing back here? Jack, my Joey flashing. Is that what that is? Oh, yeah. Turn this off there. I can't see a flashing in the background. I don't know if it's that or it's the ice cave one or something's flashing back there. Anyway, that will go a long ways to things changing. I think it's this one. Yeah. Here, let's turn them both off. There. But to me, that'll go a long ways to changing the national narrative and going out and win a Super Bowl. You win that Super Bowl, it changes everything. You go out and win multiple Super Bowls, that's going to change everything, which we have a chance to do. We got to keep this core together. You got to add to it a little bit, and we're often racing, and we can change stuff. We can. My boy Chandler. Who did it better, Jamar or Secretary? What? I don't even know what that is. Let's see here. Christopher. You can't snub a Triple Crown winner and only 4 nominees for the Hall of Fame is criminal. Yeah. I just, when I said 4, I mean, me and Richard Skinner were talking about this on a show earlier this morning, which again, you can go back on the channel and watch it. They're both kind of sitting there like, okay, all right, cool. Who's that? Who's next? And all of a sudden the balloons came down and the confetti and everything. I'm going, that's it? You only had 4? I'm like, there's so many other guys that have been trying to get in. And in a year where I guess there's not a clear-cut group of guys, that's the year to try to get other guys who should be in. There are other guys that should be in. Fred Taylor. Corey Dillon said this a lot. Fred Taylor deserves to be in. Corey Dillon deserves to be in. Big Willie deserves to be in. These guys that deserve to be in. So in a year where you don't have big names. I mean, Eli Manning's a big name, but like I said, I don't think he deserved to be a first ballot. I think he'll get in next year. But guys that are smack dab their first ballot, you don't have that this year. And instead of taking advantage of that and clearing some of these other guys out that deserve to be in, you put 4 in. And like, I don't hear this. Oh, it's an exclusive class. There's guys in there that I'm not gonna say shouldn't be in there, but there's guys that are in there that Big Willie was better than, and he's not in. There's guys that are in there that Ken Anderson was just as good at or better than, and he's not in there. How can you only have 4? That's the one I just don't understand. When you have a chance to actually do something to clear this out, you only get 4. It just, I don't know. Let's see here. William, I can't believe Trey didn't win Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, I want to know. I'd love to know the stats on how many times your sack leader, not only in the AFC, but in the NFL, is not your Defensive Player of the Year. You know, Trey's too classy of a guy. He's not going to come out and say anything. But that's crazy. I mean, and again, I'll say it this way. This defense was not very good. But we had the defensive sack leader on our team. So, if you look at it this way, to stop the Bengals pass rush, all the other teams had to do was stop Trey Henderson. And all he did was get more sacks than anybody. Their whole point to protect their quarterback was to stop Trey. And they couldn't. Again, when you're a excellent, superior player on a not very good team, and your stats are up here, to me, that makes it even bigger of what you did. So how is Trey not your Defensive Player of the Year? Again, the defense or the offensive line is focused. All right, guys, they don't really have a pass rush. We just got to keep Trey off. You know, they can't neglect everybody else, but they're going to double team, triple team Trey. That's what they're going to do. And they did. And Trey would beat it. And Trey would get sacks. And Trey still led the NFL in sacks. How is that not the best defensive player in the league? Please tell me. Because they are focusing on stopping him, and they couldn't. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. I'm telling. These are argue with me. Tell me I'm wrong that the offensive line, as far as the Bengals pass rush, their biggest person they had to stop was Trey. The only person they had to stop was Trey. Tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead, please. I beg you, because you can't. Because I'm not, and he's not the Defensive Player of the Year. I guess I can't make this stuff up. It's just. What do we have to do? I don't get it. I don't get it. Let's see here. Chris. How is Joe not on... yeah, this is a good point. How is Joe not on 11 voters' ballots for the MVP? I'll read that to you again. Joe Burrow, there are voters for the MVP. There were 11 guys who did not even have Joe Burrow on there at all. The guy who had one of the best quarterback years in history was not even on there. Again, I did not expect Joe Burrow to win the MVP. I did not. But this stuff right here is crazy. You don't even put him on your ballot? How? I'll put it to you this way. Bengals don't have much of a running game. You know what they're going to do? They're going to go at shotgun. They're going to hike the ball to Joe. And he's going to look for Jamar. And he's going to throw the ball. Jamar's going to get open. And he's going to take the ball to the house. And you got to stop him. And they couldn't. That's, to me, what he did makes it even better. Because they were trying to stop Joe Burrow. They were trying to stop Jamar Chase. They couldn't. And don't sit there and tell me, well, you guys got a great offensive line. No, we don't. Burrow did that with not a very good offensive line. And they couldn't stop him. And 11 guys didn't even have him on the MVP ballot. Again, please in the comments. Anybody tell me that I am making any of this stuff up. I would love to hear it. I'll get to Natty Ron here. Let me get my mouse to work. Come on now. Get over here. All right, Natty. Simple answer for that one. Because he represents the Cincinnati Bengals. And that shouldn't be the answer. And that should not be the answer. That shouldn't be. You should not have a vote if you're not voting for somebody because he plays for that team. This is crazy. Let's see here. William. I'm so glad Josh Allen won it and not Lamar. Me too. Oh my goodness. And that's the thing. That was more of a controversy this morning on the national media than Burrow being left off of 11 MVP ballots. I mean, look, I would take Joe Burrow over anybody. That includes Patrick Mahomes, especially Josh Allen and Lamar. Because you know what? Joe Burrow can win in the playoffs. Josh and Lamar have proven that the pressure gets to them. I don't care what anybody says. They've done it over and over and over and over again. Josh Allen in that AFC Championship game against against Patrick Mahomes, he did not play good. He did not. He threw the ball in triple coverage. He threw it. He fumbled it. The first drive, I'm like, what in the hell are you doing? Lamar Jackson, MVP, great, cool, awesome. You can't go to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying you never will, because he's a great player, but you haven't. Joe Burrow, this is the first year that Jackpot was healthy, and we didn't make the playoffs, and we damn near did. We're one game away from it. Honestly, you guys are lucky. The way the Bengals were on a heater, and that's what they do. They get hot at the end of the season, and they roll into the playoffs. The NFL is lucky that we didn't get in. I'm not saying we would have won the Super Bowl. I don't know. We would have made some noise. We would have won at least the first round. Maybe made it to the AFC Championship game. I don't know. The way we were playing was ridiculous, and that's the thing. We are the first team in NFL history to have the sack leader, the triple crown winner, and the passing leader all on the same team, and we didn't make the playoffs. And again, everybody knows those three were our big three, Trey, Jamar, and T, and they could not stop them. So how's Joe left off 11 ballots? How's Trey not Defensive Player of the Year? I don't know. All right, let's see here. Hunter. It was pathetic for the Bills this year, just outclassed. Yeah, they were not. I thought this is the year they would be ready to take on the Chiefs. And they just, it's a mindset. I'll say this. Cody Ford said this yesterday. He was on the last night, the NFL Insiders, talking about Jackpot in the huddle. How he's calm, cool, collected. He's like that all the time. And you watch him in those interviews, the dude is straight as an arrow, steady. Lamar Jackson, I don't. If you in his interviews, he stumbles over his words, fumbles. Josh Allen kind of gets excited and stuff. They're kind of like me. I mean, I'm not. I love Joe Burrow. I am nowhere close to the temperament of Joe Burrow. He's a stone cold killer, dude. It is ridiculous how confident and calm he is. And that is what translates to being that assassin on the football field. And that gives the guys on his team confidence. Because if he's not freaking out, then why would I freak out? I mean, Joe Montana. I hated him as a kid. He famously said in Super Bowl 24 against the Bengals, and when they made the game-winning drive, hey, guys, look at the John Candy in the stands. Why is he looking in the stands? Because he's Joe Cool. That's what Jackpot is. And don't call him Joe Cool. Like I said, you can call him Shicey, you can call him Burrow, whatever. Joe Cool with Joe Montana, and I hate Joe Montana. That's just me. Just PTSD. That's what we have. I mean, it's awesome and also frustrating that we didn't make the playoffs this year because of what we have. Zim just said he'll be on in like 5 minutes, so you guys wait for Zim Day. He will be on here in a little bit. But that also gives me hope. And we've got a good team. We just got to keep the core together, which it sounds like they're going to. It sounds like it's possible. Again, you guys have not done the thing with Paul Dana Jr. He has sheets through The Athletic where you can take the money, allot it out, and you can cut guys, you can sign guys, and you can figure out, you can see for yourself how the Bengals can actually keep Trey, Jamar T, and Mike Gesicki, and sign a couple guys as free agents, and you still got your draft. Where this is all fixable in one offseason. And we can be back to where we're at. Now, the biggest thing, the Bengals do all this, which I believe they will. The thing they have to figure out, which they have not been able to figure out yet, is how to get off to a better start. You cannot be 1-4 and 4-8 at one point. You cannot. And I mean, I know Joe's not going to and throw anybody under the bus, but there was, over that 4-8 stretch, there was 3 or 4 games we scored 30 points and still lost. That shouldn't happen. Now, one thing I would like them to improve upon this year is, like I said, the guard play with the offensive line. And to me, that also improved the running game. And when people say, well, we don't run the ball enough. Well, we don't. But we don't run the ball enough because we struggle at it. If the Bengals can ever get to where they're consistent, be able to get a lead, like Joe said a couple times this week when they asked about what happened, how come they didn't make the playoffs, he said there's too many games where they didn't make enough plays at the end of the game to win it. There's times where they had the lead and Joe we'd have to throw the ball, and he'd throw an interception, or we go 3 and out or something, and defense would come back on the field and their offense would come and score. That's where, if we had a consistent running game, you can just hand the ball off and run. And people come at me like, Zach doesn't like running the ball. I'm tired of hearing that because I heard Zach doesn't like tight ends. I heard Joe Burrow doesn't like tight ends. That's not true. He didn't have a really good one. He's got a really good one now, and Mike Gesicki, and he wants to keep him. They will run the ball if they can run it and get it blocked consistently. That's where two effective guards will help us. Hopefully the new offensive line coach will help us with that. Because if we could have had a consistent run game and some of these very close losses, when we scored 30 points, we would have won some of those games and we'd be in the playoffs. Yeah, I'm with you. I hate Joe Montana. Exactly. Let's see here. What do you say here? Not the season. Burrow was. Oh, you're talking to William. Okay, sorry. Let's see here. Let's go to William. If we had Andy Reid as head coach, we would win back-to-back Super Bowls. I hate to say it. Well, I mean, that's he's a great coach. But my question to that, where people say that all the time, what did Andy do at Philly? How many Super Bowls did he win in Philly? And he had a pretty darn good quarterback. Nah, it's not Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is way better than Don McNabb is. What did Bill Belichick do in Cleveland? Nothing. I mean, I can't sit there and say we definitely would have won back-to-backs. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, Zach got us to back-to-back AFC championship games. I mean, we're literally, a 15-yard penalty in Kansas City away from potentially going to back-to-back Super Bowls. So you say that with further that, that Andy would definitely get us there. We all just keep saying that they don't like the Bengals and the calls don't go our way. So even if Andy Reid's our coach, it's still the Bengals. And if we believe that the NFL doesn't like us and they don't want to give us the calls, will they give us calls if Andy Reid's the coach? So, those are hypotheticals that you can't answer. And when you say it, oh, that definitely happened. You don't know that. You don't. I don't know that. And like I said, Zach Taylor is one 15-yard penalty away from going back-to-back Super Bowls with a better chance of it, if you're looking at it that way. So, thanks. I'm glad you agree. Let's see here. Here we go. Natty. Ice. Is Zach breaking point next season? To me, 0-2. I'm hitting the panic. Oh, is it 0-2? Oh, no. Okay. Trust me, it'll suck if we go out 0-2. But the thing is, everybody knee-jerk reaction is hurry up and fire the coach. What does that do? Who are you bringing in that's going to, fix it? I don't believe in that. And if I did, I'd be calling for Wes Miller's job right now with the Bearcats. They should fire him and bring somebody else in. We got talent. We should be winning so many more of these games in the Big 12. I don't believe that. I mean, I believe the coach you hired is better than a knee-jerk reaction. Now, if the season doesn't go good, and for some reason the Bengals miss the playoffs, yes, I think Zach will be fired and deserves to be fired if that happens again. But no, I'm not. I don't believe in that stuff. It's just because most of the time it doesn't work. Every once in a while it does, but most of the time they hurry up and fire the coach, and then because you're bringing in a guy who isn't guaranteed to be here next year. So how much does the players respect him? How much do they listen to him more than the guy that was already there for however many years, So that's where I'm not. Oh, I just don't like that. That's just not me. I mean, I say you play it out. I mean, look, if and the thing is, if you're 0-2, the Bengals have gotten out of 0-2. I don't want to be 0-2. 0-4 that's awful. You can't do that. I mean, he survived a 1-4 start. We're 4-8 at one time. I don't think he gets fired until the end of the season next year if we don't make the playoffs. But I do think we're going to. And Zach Taylor, I think, I don't know, everybody gets on Zach Taylor. I think Zach Taylor's a good coach because I keep saying stuff and getting points out there where people said Zach doesn't do this, Zach doesn't do that, and he does. And trust me, if they get the offensive line fixed, they're going to run the ball more. People, Zach doesn't like running the ball. Okay. Well, they don't like running the ball because they only average 4 to 5 yards. He can do a bubble screen or he can go down to deep to Jamar or T, and it's more effective. I mean, it is compared to how we've been able to run the ball. Now, with that being said, Chase Brown is stepping up this year, and I do think I said this. I think yesterday's show with AC, Zach Moss getting hurt, I think was a blessing in disguise because Chase Brown was able to be that number one running back, and he stepped up. And I think I just got to look this up still. But I think I love to know if the average got better. I mean, somebody said, I might have been locked. It said he could have had a 12,000 yard season, 12,000 yards from scrimmage total if he played the whole time. That's pretty good. Chase Brown fits this offense better. We need to get another big running back in. Skinny in the sheets, he brought back Samaj P. Ryan, which I would be okay with. But we need somebody like that. I mean, Scatterboo from Arizona State would be awesome. I don't know if we'll get him or not, but that'd be to me the perfect guy to be the backup and big short yardage running back for Chase Brown. We'll see what happens. Yes, please hit the likes up on the show. It helps the algorithm up. I appreciate it. And then after the show's done, share it out. That helps out a lot too. Let's see here, Chris. Another 0-2 start will be horrible. Pitch or Al better be ready. Yeah, you say that. I don't think he's getting fired at 0-2 because they were 0-2 in 20 or 21 and 22, and they went to the Super Bowl and AFC Championship game. So I don't. 0-2 is not going to be a death nail for Zach Taylor. 0-4, 0-5 might. Okay, I think my promise. I still think about losing to the Jets in 21 and the Patriots last year. Those are Zach Taylor classics. The one the Jets one didn't hurt us. We went to the AFC Championship game. Yeah, it was a terrible loss. You're right. The Patriots one, that's the one that really hurt us. And I kept saying this. You can't get off to these slow starts. Eventually, it's going to bite us in the ass. And this year, it finally did. And that is one of the biggest things Zach has got to figure out. And the only thing they haven't done is play their guys in preseason. Joe Burrow, Jackpot Joey, has said he is an advocate for playing in the preseason. He said, 4 or 5 series, or 2 or 3 series, whatever he said. He said on First Take yesterday with Stephen A. that he's a rhythm guy. And he is a rhythm guy. You can tell by the way his seasons go. He starts off slow. He starts off real slow because he hasn't played in a real NFL game. Now, it is damn hard to simulate NFL speed in practice. It's close in preseason games. That's as close as you're going to get. That's where you got to play him. And I know we don't want him to get hurt. I don't want him to get hurt, but 2 years ago, he got hurt in practice. Running around the edge. He pulled his calf. He can get hurt anytime. So, it's football. I think you got to play him. You got to play the guys. That's the only thing they haven't done is play the guys in preseason. Get these guys in rhythm. Get them used to playing football together again. We'll see. Let's see here. The new offensive coach is going to be good. Our offensive coach is Pitch. That's the same offensive coach. You mean offensive line coach? Yeah, that might be what you need. Let's see here. Natty, honestly, I believe the new coaches are a great fit. I hope so. I'm very interested in the new offensive line coach because of the leverage that he is going to teach them from jujitsu. And from what I've heard, he's also is trying to protect their heads, and more handwork, which to me is bully ball. You want to get your hands on these guys and pancake them and move them. That's the thing is we need to be able to move people in this offensive line. That's one of the problems. We need to impose our will, not just through passing game, through our offensive line, through our defensive line. Impose our will. Get after that quarterback. Protect our quarterback. Run the ball. Those are things that I think that we need to do a better job of this year. And that's what I'm very curious to see how the offensive line coach does, because he's more of an outside-the-box thinker than other offensive line coaches. It's a new way of doing it. And that's interesting for the Bengals because we always say they're hard to change. Well, they're changing as far as that goes. So, we'll see. Thanks, Rob. Pose your will. Natty, where the hell have you been at? What's up? Natty's back. If they get to 6-2 at midway point, it should be enough to stay in the playoff hunt. Oh, yeah. 6-2? Yeah. If we're 6-2, we'll be dancing in the streets. Heck yeah. I would love to be 6-2. Is it football season yet? I don't want it to hurt me get cold again. I want it to warm up, but I want September to get here. I'm ready for some football. Let's see here. William, bring MMA to the offensive line is going to help with balance of hands. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. And that's what the offensive line is, balance, hands, and leverage. That's what it is. Defense and offensive line is leverage. You want to get the leverage on your opponent to move him. Get him out of your way. Or for the defense line, get him out of your way. The offensive line, move him to where you want him to go. That's exactly what this is. That's why I'm so excited about the offensive line coach that we have and how this is going to change what this offensive line looks like and how they function. Because, again, the thing is, you want to impose your will. You want to move these guys. We don't move people. Get your hands on them, do some MMA, do some judo chops, throat chop them. Nah, that's illegal. Don't do that. But it'll be interesting. Let's see here. The problem with Zach is lack of innovation. Innovation in what? He had one of the most prolific offenses in football this year. And so you need to explain more of that. I'm not sure what his lack of innovation is when we got a Triple Crown winner and we got the best quarterback in the league. And like I said, if you talk about running game, I explained, in my opinion, why they have a hard time running the ball. But yeah, I don't. People say that, and I'm like, I just scratch my head. I'm like, he's the offensive play caller. He's involved in designing the plays along with him and pitch. And I thought this year they were more innovative than they have been the whole time. And I kind of said this, that I thought it's not against Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd was great, and it's not against him. But addition by subtraction, they didn't have to have the same three wide receivers out there all the time. They could move Jamar around. They do different stuff. They moved Gesicki around. They did a ton of stuff with him. They did the two tight end offense this year when Eric All was healthy with Gesicki. There's a lot of innovative stuff they did this year. That offense looked completely different this year than it's looked the last couple years. I thought the offense was very innovative and very different because Joe Farsi has been on my show lots of times. And last year, or the year before last, he's like, I could call the plays out. Joe was happy with what Zach Taylor did in the offense and how innovative it was and how you couldn't pick it out what they were doing. So I appreciate the comment. I completely disagree with you. I'm not sure why you think he's not innovative. There you go. Let's see here. We don't play the same game in Cincinnati. We play a different game. Are you talking about when we scored 30 points against the Steelers? Are you talking about when we scored 30 points against the Commanders? That was at home. But these are all games we lost. But that was defense, which Zach doesn't run the defense. He's the coach, but he doesn't run the defense. What Zach has his hands on is the offense. So, love you. Thank you for commenting. I totally disagree. And the team, the defense was not as good at home as it was on the road. I agree with you on that. What that has to do with innovation for Zach, I don't know, because he doesn't run the defense. He is the head coach, and that's where, I'll say this. From what I've heard, there were some disagreements between Zach and Lou on how the defense should be run. Zach wanted to do some different things, and Lou didn't. And it didn't work. So that's where I have a hard time where you're saying Zach is not innovative. I don't totally get that. But anyway, he has made it to the chat. The man is very, very busy. He is all over the internet. He's all over spaces. He's got a family. He's got kids. He's coaching basketball. He is one of a kind. He is my friend. He is a super Bengals fan. He is Zim Houlet! What's up, Zim?
Nothing much, man. I love the intro, man. I was having technical difficulties. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. Dude, people been having a hard time getting on the links. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, dude, but hey, nice hoodie there. I like that. Looks good.
I thought you might like that. Yeah. Shout out to the guy, the good old people over there at Jackpot Joe.
Yes, sir. Matty Myers, the one and only.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
Sim. So I've been rambling on here, giving my thoughts, and I titled this show Super Bowl Weekend Snubs, Burrow, Chase, and Willie Disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Give me your thoughts on the Burrow, Chase, and Big Willie. They only have 4 guys in the Hall of Fame. How is Willie not the 5th? Can you explain that to me?
I was just gonna say, I think the biggest snub has got to be Willie Anderson, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm so exhausted from it, man. I know you want a good rant from me.
Dude, it don't make any sense. It
I
makes
don't
no
get it.
sense.
Can
4 guys in. That's it.
I honestly, it's so many layers to this thing. It is so many layers to this. One of the things that I will say that I don't think people pay attention to in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Even with Myles Garrett, as much as we hate the Browns, right?
Yeah.
You're like, where are you going with this?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going. I'm listening.
Is even Myles Garrett requesting a trade, even with the Browns being terrible, even with the Browns never accomplishing anything, even with all of these different things, have y'all ever ran into a Browns fan that like spoke negatively about any of their players? Anything about
they're awesome to them.
They're all immaculate. Like the writers are all on like their radio shows, the guys that are like fake Icemans and stuff. They all like have that whole Joe Burrow really is in it, and it spends so much time poo-pooing on everybody else and bigging up their players. And I feel like that, like even our fan base will do this. Trey Hendrickson will be the man, have all these sacks and stuff, and then they'll spend like the whole time talking about how great Myles Garrett is, right?
Right.
And it's not just a fan thing. It's like it starts at the top and it goes all the way to the bottom. Mm-hmm. It's like this bit of empathy for them, and then it's like this belief that we're all Steelers are like this too, but they're all together in this thing. And even if a guy has a bad game, they all go in and it all collectively suck off Joe Thomas for like a decade.
So,
you know what I mean,
dude? How is Joe? That's what I don't get. Joe,
but that's what I'm saying.
Right?
It's
what did Joe Thomas win?
Nothing. But what happens is you have so many people that give it up to those guys. Like it took me going on the internet and telling people everybody. I was the first person to say this. I was like, y'all know TJ Watt has never won a playoff game. Then instantly,
but oh my God, he's the greatest player ever.
Right. And then instantly, all these different meme pages and stuff started making like graphics about it and all this stuff. Like I was like, y'all didn't know that, but because they spend so much time on that, it's like they're always bigging them up. So when it's time to go vote for these different things, like I don't know if y'all seen like the voting yesterday or whatever. There's people that actually voted like Justin Herbert because so many people spend so much time trying to tell us that Burrow really wouldn't be anything without the weapons and all these different things.
Joe Burrow was off 11 ballots. 11 ballots he wasn't even on. How?
Bro, it's a whole collective effort. And I don't think people realize this as it's going on. I'm sorry, my dog is like trying to bite my foot.
That's all right.
But as this is going on, I feel like this is a part of it, in my opinion. As this is going on, y'all got to think. When Ocho left, it was kind of bad. When Corey Dillon left, it was kind of bad. Yeah. When Mixon left, it was kind of bad. He's the second leading rusher. I don't think that our writers, our beat, and all these different people, I don't really feel like they, and most importantly, the Bengals, I don't think that they celebrate their greats enough. And
they have it in the past. They're finally starting to with the Ring of Honor, but still, it's been so long of them not doing it.
It's so long. Yeah. And then on top of that, I'm telling y'all, like the systematic, it's okay to criticize your players. It is okay to say that. Like, I'm not saying that you couldn't.
No.
But they spend so much time tearing down like some of our great players that I just named, like Ocho on the way out. Like we spent like a whole 2 years talking about cutting mixing and stuff like that, right?
Right.
And you might say that who cares? Like, bro, go look at his numbers. Like, as much as everybody, we would be playing the Browns, I'd be in the stands and everybody telling me about Nick Chubb. I'm like, Mixon got way better games against the Browns than Chubb as against the Bengals. Why are we talking about Nick Chubb? But it goes, it's a big process. It starts from the Bengals. They started too late on the Ring of Honor. They started all this stuff. And before you know it, time goes by. And so time is now moving and everybody's not catching it until it's too late. And then we're angry about like different players not getting into certain things. It's all this negativity. Think about, do you know what the #1 Bengals page is? And probably one of the reasons why I started up.
What's that?
I hope you don't have ties to these people. I'm sorry.
Probably not. But who?
The #1 page for Bengals like information or whatever is Sissy Problems. That page is an incubator for negativity and being like they try to hide it behind sarcasm, right?
Dude,
but they're constantly showing you this is bad. Oh, we got a curse, and then when we won, bro,
see, that is Cincinnati sports radio in a nutshell for my entire life, and it's still to this day. Austin Elmore, Mo Egger, these guys are constantly more negative toward the pro teams in general here in Cincinnati. And I can't see, and people, this past year, I got so much hate from trying to be positive, saying, hey, we can turn this around. People are like, you just suck on the Bengals tent and all this stuff. It's like, dude.
Think about how much you talk about football, right? And think about how much you talk about baseball. Do you know what they will call you online? Like a writer or somebody like that? Do you know what they will categorize you as?
Oh, Homer.
Or a super fan, right? Because you can't be super positive being a Bengals. See, they try to do that.
Why?
They try to do that to me and you, right?
Yeah.
But y'all not paying attention. Look at all the people that Strawberry Ice has interviewed. The people that are telling you that this is a super fan hasn't interviewed half the amount of people. He's talking. So think about how unique our fan base is. People like you and me actually do have connects to Dan Hordes of the world. We do have connects to Dave Lapham's of the world. All these different extensions of it, and
you got connections to Jimmy Burrow.
Jimmy Burrow. I just did an interview with AJ Green last week. I just did an interview with Aditi Kikabala. I just did an interview with Troy Walters yesterday. So think about that. You get on the internet, they call me. Oh shit, get off the court. So you get on the internet, and then they'll call me a super fan. They'll be like, I hate them and all this stuff. But then meanwhile, you're watching me and you interview all these people with all this information and insight because unlike a lot of other, like I was talking to my Bills fan, he was like, bro, we don't got nobody like you in our fan base that like you just interview AJ Green. Like, and he was like, and everybody went retweet. I was like, nah, they're not going to retweet it like that.
And I got Corey Dillon on a lot too, by the way.
You know what I'm saying?
Toot.
Me and you both, I'd be like, Corey Dillon, you want to go meet us in Midwest? You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So it's very unique that we have that, but it goes like with this. Remember when we had the 31-year curse? It's like this belief, and I mentioned Sissy Problems because that's a page. Like, sorry if you're affiliated with them.
No, I'm not. I don't even know who runs it. No, I have nothing to do with them.
That's a page that feasts on doubt and pessimism. And if you and then that's why you see it so much. Like, bro, that's the biggest page.
Right.
That's the biggest page.
It is embedded in this sports culture for some reason. It's been like that my whole life. Like when I wanted to get into this when I was younger, which is 30-something years ago now, I wanted to do it differently. Because dude, I have a hard time listening to sports talk radio around here sometimes because it's so depressing. Because they're always negative, always negative. I was like, dude, we don't suck. Like, and that's the thing is, people go against Zach Taylor and they act like he's this horrible freaking coach. You do realize he took us to the Super Bowl, AFC Championship game, and he just started out this year 1-4, 4-8 one time, and still was one game away from going to the playoffs. He's back-to-back 9-8 years with Joe Burrow being injured last year. How does that coach suck? I don't get that.
And think about the team we just talked about, the Browns, right? They would give their left testicle for 4 straight winning seasons, right? So the Bengals just had 4 straight winning seasons, right? if me and you come on here and tell people that, they'd be like, "Oh, they're homers," but that's the truth.
But it's facts.
The difference would be if I came on here and I was like, "Bro, I think we're about to go 14-2," which I'm pretty sure I might say something like that if they did something crazy, right?
Yeah. But it's also tongue in cheek too. We don't. I mean,
I wouldn't even say. I don't even talk like that. But
yeah, I mean, I thought we were gonna start 5-0 a couple times, and we haven't done that yet because we should.
That's what they want. That's what they want you to think. The other thing is this: there is a realistic point of it, and I think we do a good job, or you do a really good job of looking at all perspectives of it. So just because I did say that they went 9-8 and they had 4 straight winning season, doesn't mean that they're exonerated from criticism. So I'll go in. And I'll let you know, like, I don't think Zach Taylor should be the coach because I think that there are other better options like a Ben Johnson that were out there. But now we have a conversation. Yeah. But instead of that, the people that don't like us or whatever, they'll take that one bit that I'd be like, he said they won 4 straight winning seasons. He's a homer. And they won't even listen to the rest of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But to make it all together, it's okay to get on the internet, and whether it's the Bengals, who I don't think celebrate their greats good enough, or say it's the local beat for this week is telling you that Trey Hendrickson isn't like elite because he doesn't defend the run. It's okay to say those things, right?
Yeah, I mean it's true he doesn't defend the run, but
and it's also okay to say this front office, I don't trust them. I think they suck. Right? There's somebody listening to it right now, but then. Think about it. We're all content creators with the advancements of Twitter and Instagram or whatever, whether you get 10 likes or 100,000 likes. I got posts this week that got 10,000 likes in one post, right? So think about how many people see that. Imagine if I went on the internet and I just told everybody about all the bad things, which some of our writers do, or some of the people that are in charge, and some of the people that are listening right now, you do it all the time, right?
Right.
And then you're mad at the front office and you're putting that out there, right? And it's this is not a shot to say fans shouldn't do this.
No.
But pay attention to this. If you did that all day and you don't have anything good to say about the Bengals, then when it's time to go get votes, like Zach Taylor should have got coach of the year in 2022 when he beat the hell out of the Bills in it. He should have got that. He didn't even get any votes, right?
Nope.
But because so many people were like, Zach Taylor's a bum, Zach Taylor. Think about the people that are reading it. Did y'all see the people that are voting on it? These are people that me and Ice are interviewing. I saw Didi on the list. I saw I've interviewed Daniel Jeremiah. I seen all these people. I'm like, damn, I've interviewed a lot of people that voted against the Bengals or didn't even put Burrow on the card. Those people follow me. Those people follow different people. Those people are on Ice's show. So when it's time to vote, what do you think is going to happen? That's how I'm tying it all in. And it's not to say that the fans' fault. But everything in life has 3 sides to every single, story or whatever. It's, like what this person is and then the truth or however you want to slice it up. But that's the realistic point of it. You could be very critical on a front office, but the energy that you're putting out around the team is now championed and channeled through. Did y'all see Joe Burrow on all those shows yesterday? They laughed at him when he said the cap was going to go down. Like, they're like, you think you're going to sign trade? Because they already have it in their mind that the Bengals are cheap and they're never going to do anything, right? So if you are saying the same thing, everybody on TV is going to say the same thing.
Right.
And then everybody, all the players that never played for the Bengals, that never watched the Bengals, they're going to say the same thing. And then when they go to vote, they're going to say the same thing.
It's called speaking it to existence. You can keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. People eventually start believing it. And the thing is, with the Bengals, what I've said is they're not cheap. They haven't spent their money wisely the last couple of years. That's what I'll say. And that's the truth. You look at who they signed in free agency. They have not spent their money wisely. Okay. Now, my argument, I'll go back to Trey. My argument to why he should be the defensive player of the year. Okay. Our defense stunk this year. We had one guy who could pass rush. That was it. And the other team knew that. They would double team, triple team him. And guess what he did? He's the NFL sack leader. So how does that not make it more impressive of what he did? That right there alone is why he should be it. And I don't get that. And to exactly what you're saying is I try to be positive. And I'm not always positive.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not. I went off on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday about Duke Tobin and how he, or last week when he said we can't have the highest paid player at every position, and also Trey Henderson.
That was insane. Like,
yeah, it wasn't. What? Yeah, I went off on it. I'm tired.
We're not
of that,
saying
that
every
narrative.
position. We just need 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, just 4 or 5 guys. Yeah. That's all we need. And I don't like that. He didn't even. I wanted to hear from him, and then after he said that, going, all right, never mind. I don't want to hear from you anymore. It's just saying stuff like that that you don't need to say, and it's not true. You don't. And I don't think T knows if he stays with the Bengals, he's not going to be the highest paid player. Trey stays with the Bengals. He knows he's not going to be the highest paid player. They know this. Joe Burrow is speaking for them, through them. They've all talked about it, that they want to be here. So, and Stephen A. on First Take the other day, I love Stephen A., but he was like, Joe, do you really, they're cheap. Do you really think they're going to do it? Joe's like, yeah, I believe them. And that's the narrative where they're cheap. They're not a well-run organization. Well, you know what? We went to the Super Bowl AFC Championship game. We had 4 straight winning seasons. That's a pretty good. That's pretty good run.
Orlando Brown said that on the red carpet too. He was like, "Our fan base. You got to think too. Shout out to all the new fans. We appreciate you. You got to think. There's a lot of LSU transplants and stuff there too. Yeah. So Orlando Brown. I think he was talking to at least Jesse or somebody, and he was like, part of it is we won back-to-back AFC championships. So, I mean, what else can you do but go win a Super Bowl, right? That's the next level. Anything lower than that, to your point about like Zach Taylor, is seen as a failure, which I kind of agree with.
It is. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the last 2 seasons have been a failure. Yes.
I think the Bills and the Ravens and the people that were teasing us all those years, I think they found out how hard it really is to go to a Super Bowl. Like, I think they found that out the last 2 years, like really fast, right?
Yeah.
And so our fan base too, there's like, we're split where we're all trying to figure out a way to go win a Super Bowl. And that's where the conversations on who should we keep coming and all these different things. Like, because remember, 2021, you didn't have those conversations. It was like, we just happy to be here. And, oh, we're on fire. Oh, okay, we beat the Chiefs. Oh my God, I remember when we beat the Chiefs.
Oh,
the first
dude,
time.
I was crazy, so high. I was high on life. I was
high on life, bro. I was on a beach. I made them watch it at I don't know if I told you the story, but I made them watch it at a TV. I bet everybody in there. I said it was other fans of other teams. I was in Puerto Rico or Punta Cana or something like that, one of those.
Yeah.
And I told them at the bar, I said, if y'all there was only one main TV. I said, if y'all give me this main TV and the Bengals lose this game, I will buy everybody here a drink. And the Bengals won. And so people bought me a drink. I ran out to go tell everybody because my wife doesn't give a damn about football. I go run outside to tell everybody the Bengals won. I run and jump into the water and hit my leg on like all this damn coral reef. Leg, I posted it on Twitter one day. My leg was cut all the way from the knee all the way to the ankle. Like, but I was so happy. I didn't care. That my leg was shattered with blood dripping all off of it. But we were so happy that we didn't have all these different issues on who to pay, what awards are we winning and stuff like that. So it's kind of crazy like that we're at this part. But I will say that a lot of people, some of the transplants, some of the people that are younger, some of the, they're kind of sprinkled in there and they don't understand. And then you got the older people that are like, bro, you weren't here for the night, right?
Yeah.
So you got all these different people kind of going back and forth. And I just wish people would talk about some of these things a little bit more, because I know I like to go and cook up people from opposite fan bases and stuff like online all day. I do not want to argue with Bengals fans, and I don't want to like do back and forth with. I don't do that. Like anybody that follows me, I don't do that. I don't like that. And what they did is try to turn that against me, and because I cook people so bad on other teams, they're just like, oh, he's bad for the fan base. But I just really take pride in, I'm very competitive. When those people were laughing at Joe Burrow and stuff, it pissed me off. Some of the Bengals fans I saw were like, well, that's the front office. I said, they're laughing at us.
Right.
Like, I get it. I don't think Mike Brown is amazing. I don't think that the front office is amazing. But when they're talking about the Bengals, I feel like you're talking about us. Like, I don't care. About, all that stuff goes out the window to me. It's like
I bleed orange, bro. I bleed orange.
You should like. Let me give you an example, Ice. Let me give you this perfect example of somebody says, "Well, it's not like this." Is what people will tell me. They'd be like, "I don't know if I don't trust the front office, and they gotta get their stuff together." And I'm like, "Yep, I'm with you."
Right.
But they're not 100%. Like, I was mad yesterday watching Joe Burrow go from set to set and have all these people tell him that he's not going to be able to get all these people, right? And I don't believe that. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't. I do believe that it's gonna be hard to get all of those players signed, right? But the competitive fire in me just makes me be like, come on, front office.
Right.
Let's go get it.
Let's go get it.
And then I saw like half of our fan base be like, yeah, that's our garbage ass front office. And I was like, they're those people, you rather side with those people than like, let's go back and let's go cut these people up. Let's go get them.
Yeah.
Let's go get them. And that's how competitive I am. And I don't know if people see it that way. I'm gonna give you an example. Me and you, Ice, you're about to go fight somebody and you get your butt whooped. And
that would be hard. I don't fight.
You're a big man. But in a rare instance, you get your butt whooped, right?
Yeah.
There's a heckler on the side that says, ha ha ha, he's a punk or whatever, right? You get in another fight, you lose again. The heckler's like, oh, he's trash. I can't stand this guy. He's a bum. He's heckling you the whole time. Even after 4 or 5 fights of me watching you get whooped, you have on black and orange. I don't care if I think you're delusional for fighting again. I don't think if you're stupid for fighting again. I don't care if you know how to fight. I'm going to be rooting for you. At no point will I ever side with the person that is heckling you, telling you that you're a jackass for fighting. I'd be like, I might whisper in your ear, like, Ice, I don't think you should fight this next one. But at the same time, I'm like, go get him again.
Well, it's just like some
that's
people
how
almost,
I am with the Bengals. I don't know how people,
it's like almost some people feel like they root for the Bengals to screw up, going, see, I told you. See, I told you they're cheap. See, I told you they wouldn't do this. And trust me, I'm putting it out there that I think they're gonna sign everybody. And trust me, people are going, all right, we'll see. There's no way they're gonna sign T. Higgins, but there are reports, and if I get my mouse to work, that T. Higgins is more likely to sign with the Bengals than not.
The Jesse Palmer.
Jesse Palmer. So that gives
you know the one that really stood out to me yesterday that Joe Burrow said.
What's that?
He said this was the best quote, and it's not getting used a lot. This I don't know who's gonna have their quote first.
I got mine up right now.
All right, so you can go with you got your.
James
he
Palmer,
did have one. He says we have the cap space to get it done. I want to make it happen. Everybody involved. Jamar, Mike G. We all want to stay together.
Yep.
He had another one that I thought was major that nobody pay attention to this. He said, we have had the discussions that the guys are going to get paid that need to be paid. That will be a conversation from, you know what I'm saying? That would be a conversation from the front office.
Well, supposedly him and Duke talked at the Pro Bowl.
Right.
So that's, I think, an insight into that conversation. Trust me, beginning of the week, I was pissed off, like, oh, man, I don't think we're going to sign everybody. End of the week, listening to Joe speak, and to me, you got to listen to what he's saying. Don't listen to what people are asking him and trying to tell him what's going to happen. Listen to what Joe's saying. Joe doesn't speak. Joe's a very thoughtful guy. He's a very calm guy. He doesn't like doing that media stuff. He doesn't like doing that. I felt like he's trying to get it out there to us fans, like, hey, guys, look. We're going to stay. We all want to stay here. We're working on this. I've had conversations. This is going to happen. Don't listen to what the talking heads are saying. Listen to me. That's what that felt like to me yesterday. And I'm just like, yeah, more interviews. Like, come on, Joe. Come on, let's go. And I'm just there swinging one. Like, let's go.
You know, I was sitting there saying, now the front office needs to go have his back.
Yes.
And the front office needs to do whatever they can do to not make him look stupid. I feel like Joe Burrow, like what me and you are trying to do, is an extension because our front office is so tight-lipped. Him going on that media run is an extension off of conversations and insight that he has.
Right. He wouldn't have said it otherwise, unless he confidently believes that because of what conversations he had with them. He's not going to go out there and just say anything off the top of his head. Joe's a very thoughtful guy. If he had this conversation with the Bengals, which I think he did, this is why he's saying this.
And I think he's very careful to say this too. I got burned like this, right? Like the famous T. Higgins tweet. Like, I hope people don't think that I didn't talk directly to, like the source, right?
Right.
So anything can happen. Joe has been very careful to say that's the plan.
Yeah.
This is what we want to stay together. Like, he's very selective in that because he's not saying that
he's not guarantee it. No,
it's not no guarantee. But
No.
I thought this statement about like we had the conversations about getting them all of them paid is a real conversation based off of this is what the numbers would look like and this is how we can make it work, Joe. Now, if T. Higgins wakes up tomorrow and says, "Yeah, I know we talked about that right now, but you know what? I just talked to my agent. He says I can get damn near 40 if I go to the open market." Things could change.
Yeah.
So he can't speak on that. He can only speak to what he knows. And I think a lot of people that are very not even pessimistic, but just not as optimistic about the situation are almost like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And I get that too.
No, I do. Yeah.
But I'm such a competitor. Like Ace and me, we're competitive. Me and you, we're like, if I see you at a tailgate right now and you said, I bet you can't take more shots than me right now. Even if I couldn't, I'm so competitive. Like, I don't think people realize that. Yeah, like I'm just like that. So when he says that, it's like it's game time. Like, let's go. Yeah. And I'm not saying that the people that aren't as optimistic aren't as competitive, but that's just the way that I am. And I don't, everybody's gonna fan how they want to fan, but I choose to believe like that I'm not gonna will the situation to make it happen myself, but with our platforms, I'm going to get out all the information that works on our side as much as possible. I'm going to also say some real stuff too along the way that people aren't going to like as well that, might go against, them signing. But my goal is for us to win. And I feel like Joe doing that, I feel like we should all be fighting for the validity of Joe Burrow's words, the validity of us, the validity of we're not a fluke, the validity of we're not cheap, and the validity of all these different things. Whether just like the example I gave you about the fighting or whatever, whether we are cheap or not as Bengal fans, I just don't like it. I don't like you talk. I feel like that is.
I get tired of it. I get tired. It's a tired narrative.
And I look at the numbers on a lot of different things. Like think about this past year, they posted a graphic. Goodberry posted this graphic, and I think a lot of people didn't really look at it that much. But it was showing like the salaries like for 2024. The Bengals were $10 million less than the Chiefs, like in 2024. So like if y'all go look at that tweet that I'm saying, I don't even know if he noticed that. But it was like to show how low on the totem pole the Bengals were. I think they were like 22nd or something like that. But the Chiefs were like 17th or whatever. But it's like you need all of these things. You need drafts to work out in your favor. If you go look at the Chiefs,
we haven't had drafts work out lately.
But this is the crazy thing. The Chiefs 2022 draft is one of the greatest drafts you'll ever see. Like every single pick hits.
They hit.
But their 2023 draft, 2024 draft, it looks they both look weak.
Now, the
Bengals, and I've been posting this. The Bengals 2023 draft that features Chase Brown like in the 5th round, Yoshi and all these guys like that. It looks pretty damn good. 2024, if McKinley Jackson and Chris Jenkins are guys, like it's like you need that. You need help.
And you're not going to hit. We had
10 things.
We had 10 draft picks. You're not going to hit on all 10. If you hit 4 or 5 on a draft, you're going to be good. Now, I want to bring this comment up here.
Our 22 draft is awful, though. I will say that.
Yeah. So, it says here 21, 22 Bengals were many of Marvin Lewis's players. I don't know this offhand, but I want to disagree with that. I'm pretty sure Zach Taylor.
22, 23?
To our 21, 22. Sorry, 21, 22. Because we signed a lot of free agents. We had a lot of draft guys. I mean, you had.
I didn't know Marvin Lewis people. Because Dunlap was out of there.
Dunlap was gone. Atkins was gone. I mean, you had Pratt. Yeah. Logan Wilson was a Zach guy. Burrow, Chase, T. The offensive line. I mean, you had Billy Price was gone. We had Riley Reef at tackle. I can't say this guy's name, but I again wrong. I don't think you're right. Unless you got a list of how many there were, because that was when the Bengals started doing free agents. We had Trey Hendrickson. We had Chidobe Awuzie. We had Mike Hilton. All these guys that we hit on free agency. Those are all Zach guys. And that was half of our defense. I mean, Jesse Bates, yes, that would be a Marvin guy. Von Bell wasn't. I mean, that is an inaccurate statement. It was Zach Taylor got here and he turned it over a lot. So me and him have been having a conversation before he got on here that Zach isn't, what do you say, not elite, but not innovative with his coaching. And I thought this offense was one of the most innovative offense we had this year.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Give me your list of pros and cons for Zach Taylor.
Okay. Pros are the way he relates to his players and the way that they respect him. Mm-hmm. And I do think pros are, he's got Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow likes him. That's a big pro. Okay. Yeah, Joe Burrow likes him. Jamar Chase likes him. I think the offense is looking great. And Zach is the offense coordinator. My biggest con is starting the season 0-2, 0-3, 0-4.
Right.
That's my biggest takeaway from him. He's got and finally bit us in the ass this year. I mean, there's not a lot of cons I have for him, but those are that starting off and protecting the players too much in preseason. I think he's too afraid to get Joe hurt. Joe got hurt 2 years ago in training camp, running around the outside of the pocket. Joe can get hurt walking out the street.
In 90-something degrees, though, that they had him overworked. They worked the hell out of him that day.
Yeah, I mean, they need to put him more into. I think put him more into preseason and get him in rhythm. Mm-hmm. They've got to figure that out. The defense. Another con, and I'll say this is the running game. Now I've put this out there, and I'll ask you what you think about this, because I'll preface it this way. For years, people said Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow don't want to throw to the tight ends. Well, I said they haven't had great tight ends. They got Gesicki this year, Hayden Hurst. When they got this, they started throwing the two tight ends. We had a 2 tight end set we would use this year. Running the ball, we are only averaging running it 4 to 5 yards this past year. If we can ever figure out how to block it correctly and get 7 to 10, and you're, for second and 5, second and 4 instead of second and 9, I think he'll run it more if he can get it blocked. I don't think he's done a good job of figuring that out.
But this is one of the great. I have a good list. I have a long list of pros for him. I also have a very long list of cons for him too.
I'm a big Zach guy, so.
But this is the thing that I'm very, maybe I'm not going to say fearful of, but very cautious on.
Yeah.
How are we 6 years later and still saying that we just need to get better guards?
Yeah. I agree.
Think about this. Think about all, like, when Kappa and Karras came here, like, they weren't bums. And then some of these other guys that they've drafted, and they've drafted over 7 guys like in that time period, and they've also acquired over 7 free agents as well too. So that's a lot of bodies, right?
That's a lot.
All of them are bad. And and so
now, does that fall on Zach, or does that fall on the offensive line coach?
I think it's all like Zach is the head coach. So 6 years later, it's his offense and him not being able to establish like a efficient run game, particularly in the short yardage game. Yeah. Particularly the reason why I wanted another running back to pair with Chase Brown.
I do too.
Particularly where I guess everybody hates me because I brought up like Mixon could have transitioned. He could have played this year with Chase Brown and transition off of it. Let Mixon take all the short yardage stuff and all the simple little screens and stuff like that.
How do you like the kid from Arizona State?
Huh?
How do you like the kid from Arizona State, the running back? Now I was going to keep it with Scattaboo. I think that's his name.
I mean, he's a later round pick.
Definitely later round.
But
pairing him with Chase,
guys like that. I also like. I wouldn't mind getting the kid from Ohio State, Henderson.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be a way better pro than what he was in college. Particularly now, mind y'all, I don't watch college football as much, but I'm starting to watch. When I get into the draft process, then I start to cook up, and I'm like, so I'm watching him. And I'm like, okay, well, it's clear that you guys have a lot of. So that's what I love about the process is I'm not watching it every week. I'm just watching the film on these players now. Mm-hmm. But when he gets the ball, he has like a burst that is like incredible. And he's a lot tougher than what people think. Mm-hmm. He's one of those guys that strike me. I think he's going to be a way better pro than what he was in college, particularly because Ohio State had the best wide receivers in football too. Right. Mm-hmm. So you're not running a lot too. So there's a bunch of running backs too. This draft is loaded with running backs. And
they're not going to get them till day 2, day 3. Before we think about drafting, we got to draft trenches. But back to your point, real quick about the offensive line. I agree with you. That has been the biggest, the offense and defensive line. You can go both ways with the trenches.
Yeah.
We have not done a good enough job in that area, both sides of the ball, where we've had to spend too much money on free agents to come in here. We haven't been able to draft and develop guys. That's Zach, and that's on the coaching staff and the whole organization in general. That's one of the biggest things we've got to fix. Sorry, I want to bring that.
I just think that 6 years later, saying the same thing is a big indictment on Zach. And I get it, Frank Pollock is an offensive line coach, but I just feel like if Andy Reid level, I hate to use the best of the best, but you wouldn't have that same, problem with a top tier coach that much later. You wouldn't be saying the same thing. And then what everybody is saying right now is like, oh, let's just go get guards. We did that before. We did get guards. And I think a lot of people are missing out on the fact that it's the actual scheme itself. And 6 years later, to not have schematically have an efficient run game is super problematic for me. And I think the 2021 season was really, really good because remember, Joe was on a pitch count at the very beginning. Mixon had over 1,500 yards all purpose and was ended, I think, second in the AFC in rushing. So he was forced to run. So it's not to say that he can't. I just think he gets himself in too many spots where he's using Burrow way too much. But then you have the other part of me that says, why are you taking the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands? So it's really
the biggest thing for me is these games where we scored 30 points and we lost because I say the Baltimore Ravens game where Burrow, I love Burrow, but Burrow threw that interception. That changed that whole game. If we could run the ball then, that game's over.
How about the next Ravens game, Chase Brown fumble?
Yeah, I know.
I thought that like during the season they would have killed me for saying it, but like now that we're after the season, they're like, oh, that's that Mixon guy. But bro, up 21-7.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember the sequence? Like I was there, so
I forgot about it till you just said it.
look, this is the crazy thing. The sequence prior to us getting the ball, if you just go back and watch the condensed version, we've seen Lamar like this one time before when we beat the brakes off his ass in 2021.
Yeah.
And it was like 41-17, and he pretty much checks out. He's not used to that. When we had on 21-7, they ran like a screenplay. It's like 3rd and like 22 or something like that. He throws the screen and leaves the field before the play is over. Like their fans were like booing. Like I was there. They were totally out of it. They kicked the ball to the Bengals. And then the Bengals, I think on the second play, Chase Brown fumbles and gives them the ball right on our side of the field. I really think, I'm not pinning the game on Chase Brown, but had we just gone 3 and out and punted right there, I think better. I don't even think there's enough time. Like flow, everything was so, that fumble gave them everything. Then remember the first time we were up 10 with 5 minutes and 38 seconds.
He throws the interception.
No, that's what. No, the first time.
This year?
The first time we missed, I think McPherson might have missed a kick, and then that was in overtime. But
that was in overtime. Yes, that was after he threw the interception.
But the first time when Lamar, like they're down 10 points. He drops the ball and Sam Hubbard's trying to catch it.
That was after Joe. I think I'm right. That was after Joe Burrow.
Right? Oh, that's the Burrow.
Yeah, where they jumped. They threw the chase and the cornerback. I can't remember who it was. Jumped it. Marr jumped it. That right there, and that changed. I'm pretty sure that was the sequence, but I know I was at the game, and I just remember that to me changed.
Yeah, I was at the Baltimore one. You were at the Bengals one.
Yeah. So I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what changed. We were up 10, and we're about to go up 17, and I think the chat can tell me if I'm wrong or not, but I think that changed it. And then Lamar went down and fumbled the ball.
We were up 10. Even if you kick a field goal right there,
right? You're up 13.
Worst case scenario, they're coming back to try to score at the end of the game, maybe to go win the game or something, versus they came back and tied it with a field goal at the end of regulation.
But one thing I want to pick out what you said there, and this is where Joe Burrow is better than Lamar Jackson. Like you just said, Lamar gives up. Lamar gets discouraged.
Only in those rare opportunities.
Right, but he does.
It only happens. It's very rare.
It happened last year in the AFC Championship game.
I'm gonna tell you another time it happened. he's very emotional the way he plays football versus Burrow. If y'all ever see him miss a throw or something, he's like, like Burrow would never do that, right?
He just walks off.
Go watch the Texans-Ravens game. It's 10-10. He has three straight plays where the Texans get sacks on him. He leaves. I mean, I'm sorry. He punts the ball back to the Texans. Stroud has a chance. This is not this year. Go look at 2023. Y'all think I'm joking. 2023 is 10-10. Stroud could go to lead the drive and like take control of the game. Stroud like messes up, doesn't do what he's supposed to. But Lamar is so frustrated, he leaves halftime before the half is over and leaves. And then they come out the tunnel, though. They get the ball, they run the football, and then they kill the Texans.
Yeah.
But for that, it's very rare because he's so used to being up with that team.
That's her. I mean, he's great. Don't get me wrong. Lamar is an elite quarterback. He's just not mentally to where Joe Burrow. I think Josh Allen the same way. I said this about the AFC Championship game this year. Josh Allen looked terrible. That first drive looked awful. Like
remember he threw 2 picks at the beginning and Cook dropped them?
Yeah. I mean, he's throwing the
ball.
ball.
My friend that he was like, "Man, I ain't see it." I said, "Bro, the first 2 plays he threw damn near like a pick,
right to him. He threw right to him."
You know what it is? I don't trust. Like, this is one thing I don't trust a guy like playing football. If you got racy little eyes, like when you're doing interviews and stuff, his little eyes be like going like that and shit like that. I feel like that carries over to like football. I don't know if you saw Joe. He might have been zooted out of his mind on the red carpet, but he's cool, calm, and collect. He's cool, calm, and collect. Like he's like, he was on the red carpet. Like, that's
the same on the red carpet as he was with First Take, as he was with Breakfast Ball, as he was with KFs. The same. I've never seen.
That translates.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm fucking ADD, and I'm all over the place. I would never be a great NFL quarterback. That's what makes Joe Burrow, and I hate to say it, Patrick Mahomes the same way. You don't see him now. But he throws his arm. Now, one thing I wish Joe would do: throw your arms up when you get hit. Get a little bit more pissed off because you don't get calls. Because one thing he did say on a Dan Patrick show, I don't get the calls that everybody else does, which he's right. He doesn't, and I'm kind of glad he said that. I wish he'd do a little more antics or something to try to get these calls.
I did tell you this one. The one where I saw him very angry. I was in Kansas City for the 2022 AFC Championship game. If you go watch that intentional grounding BS call that they gave, where he throws it and it's right there at P. Ryan's feet, he goes ballistic. And after he goes ballistic, he only has like 10 seconds on the clock. He then goes into the huddle. It's like 3rd and 16 now. 10-yard line, just steps back. Throws a dart that hated hers. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, this dude is he's a psycho, bro.
Dude,
like,
he's insane.
The one thing while I was watching the playoffs and I was telling my boy this, I tweeted this too. I said all Bengals fans take like what he does, like we take all of his just standard passes, we take it all for granted.
Oh God, yeah. The stuff he does is not standard. His windows he throws into are like this.
And Josh Allen, like the just standard post, standard, like just being on time, mechanics, everything about it, even when a man is in his face. Those 3 quarterbacks, they live and die off of improv. Like when I watched them play and when it was time to make throws on time, I'm like, yeah, I see why Lou Anarumo knew what to do with him. He's gonna make Josh Allen throw into tight windows every single time. Lamar Jackson, when he had to throw on-time throw in that spot, throws a pick that's bad miscommunication. And Burrow could do the same thing, but it's like when they're challenged to throw on time, on schedule, non-improv, a lot of Lamar stuff, he has wide open receivers. And I'm not saying that to lessen how good he is. No. But a lot of it is he's running, and the threat of him running sucks the linebacker in, and then he's just like, how many times y'all seen Lamar Jackson watch a Ravens game and he's just like, ooh, and it's a guy like
what's the one where he's
and you be like, and he's like
fist.
that, and then he's like, like this, because the threat of him running, and when he doesn't have that, and there are like freak athlete linebackers that can like cover him, and he's forced to throw, it starts to normalize him. And I'm saying, and I think he's great. I think he's amazing.
No, I do too.
But what Joe does and the way that he throws on time, I was just watching routine throws in the playoffs, whether it was Stroud, whether it was like Lamar, all that. I was like, damn, that's crazy that Joe just throws like these little 6-yard underneath throws, and they're so on time.
They're right there. I mean, you barely ever see Jamar do this. Every once in a while you will, but I noticed that a lot. I'm like, man, can't you? You guys can't. Like, man, I'm spoiled because I'm used to Joe going, boop, it's right there. I mean, going back to the great play that Lamar made, or he fumbled the ball and stiff arm Sam Hubbard. Yeah. That's the same thing. Where he's the threat to run, he run out running wide, but they don't want to get beat because they know he can juke them and beat them. So that's what they're always conscious to do, and that's what the Bengals, when they beat him, do a better job of containing him in the pocket. That's what they have to get to. Sim, I've been on for an hour and 35 minutes, dude. I could go for another hour and 35 talking to you, but let's get the heck out of here. Go have some fun. Real quick, prediction on the Super Bowl before I let you get out of here.
Oh, I hate to say this, guys. I feel like coaching is a lot better on the Chiefs side. I just think that the game's going to start. I'm going to say this as quick as possible. I think the game's going to start off. Everybody's heard the referee stuff. I think you're going to see a lot of calls that go in the Eagles' favor early on, right? Mm-hmm. And then Eagles might get a lead or something like that. But when it's all said and done, towards the end of the game, none of those calls are going to get called, and Mahomes is going to be scrambling all over the place. Yep. Wikipedia already has the Chiefs winning 27-24 to the Eagles. I think the same. Yes, it's a Butker. Go look this up. It's just a Harrison Butker field goal is going to win it. I just think that the storyline of the referees, they're going to try to get out in front of it and be like, see, we don't get all the calls, but when it matters the most at the end,
they're going to get the calls.
They're going to get the calls. Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts has to play. He has to throw. I think he needs to throw for like 320 plus.
Really? What you don't think it's going to be a big Saquon game?
I think it could. I think it could be.
I think it has
to be.
Early
in the game, he has to throw. The Chiefs are going to sell out to the run, and not that many teams have had that much success running on them. Cook did pretty good last week or the week before, but I don't think that's enough. I think
Saquon's
that's
different, though.
I think that Jalen Hurts is going to have to throw early in this game, and once that happens, then the running lanes for Saquon will open up.
And he did. Remember, in the last time they played the Super Bowl, I thought Jalen Hurts could have been considered to win the MVP on a losing team.
Until he had that fumble.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he had better numbers. So I mean, people keep talking about. I feel bad for Jalen Hurts. Like, oh, he's not that good of a quarterback. He's a good quarterback. I mean, he's not Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. He's not up there, but he's a good quarterback, and he can throw the ball.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I think he has to. Early in his game, he has to make some throws.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah,
for the Chiefs to respect it, and I think at the end of the game, it will be like he threw for 300 plus if they win. Saquon just running the whole time. I just think Spags is too good of a coordinator to let that happen the whole time. And then the Chiefs, they're just gonna get cheap touchdowns and stupid stuff, and you're gonna be like, how the hell did they get those? You're not even gonna remember like 14 of their points. That's just how the Chiefs go.
Which is gonna be irritating because talent-wise, the Eagles are a more talented team in general.
Absolutely.
But
Chiefs are very talented. I think they're top 5 defense.
But the defensive line, offensive line by the Eagles are way better than the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, the Chiefs got a good roster. The Eagles is just insane. If Joe Burrow was the quarterback for the Eagles, they would never lose a football game.
No, it'd be awesome. Hey, Zim, plug some stuff before I let you go, brother.
ZimHouday.com, Cincinnati pod. I'm doing me and my boy Ace. We had some, like I talked about earlier in the show, we had some good interviews. We had Troy Walters this week, Aditi King Kabbalah, that's from NFL CBS sideline reporter. We had AJ Green. So we had a really big week. Malik was on there. Malik Wright was on there. So we do really good interviews and we got really good insight and we like talking ball. So Cincinnati instead of Cincinnati, just put a W in front of it. That's it.
As always, Zim, I appreciate you, man. Hey, we win on Lombardi next year. I'm just saying it. It's happening. Let's go.
I'm with you, bro. Let's get it.
Houday. See you, brother.
Houday.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that much of it. Go follow Zim. He's a great Bengals fan. Him and Ace do an awesome job. I tried to get on Ace earlier this week. He's actually was doing something for Bleacher Report. I said, that's awesome, dude. Moving up in the world. So go check out Zim Houday, Cincinnati Pod, and all the things they got going on over there. Again, thanks for watching. Do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up. Share this out. Because I can't grow this without you guys. There's 55 people watching, and I have 0 thumbs up. So if you're on YouTube, Facebook, Because I'm live streaming ZTV Online, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. If you're on any of those, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscription button. You follow me on all those, along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Just helps out the algorithm, helps me out. I'm trying to get this thing out there to more and more people because I think we need more positive Cincinnati sports talk. Like Sim just said, we have too many negative stuff around here. I'm fighting against it. Some people get tired of me being optimistic, but there's so much negativity in this world. There's so much negativity for these teams, for the Reds, for the Bengals, for the Bearcats. And trust me, I will go off on them. The Bearcats have depressed the crap out of me here lately. Hopefully they beat BYU this weekend. I've not been very happy with what that's been going. So I try to keep it real. The Bengals, I believe they're going to sign these guys. I believe they can, and I know they can do it and fit it on their cap. And they can go out and sign some free agents. They got to get this draft together. They hit all that, which they can do it. We're going to be back in the Super Bowl next year. But shout out to my sponsors. There as follows. Priority Lawn and Landscaping. If you guys got any grass that needs to be cut here pretty soon, shrubbery that you want planted, leaves blown out from last year, mulch done, paver patio done, tree trimming, anything like that, get Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Call at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. You can also check them out on Facebook at Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shows brought to you by Marr Windows and Doors. Check them out at www.mycincinnati.com for all your window and door needs. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean, and they look awesome. Again, it's Marr Window and Doors. And my West Side peeps, go check out Hail Mary. It's your ticket to the game. Show's almost done. You guys can go head on over there and shivvy it. Big ass TV screen, beer specials, food trucks, free parking. It's an awesome, awesome spot. Hail Mary is your ticket to the game. Tell them Ice sent you. And T Properties. If you're looking for any rental property, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom condo, house, if you've got a rental property you don't want to manage anymore, give T Properties a call at 513-378-9851 or check them out at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. Guys, you have a wonderful weekend. My Super Bowl prediction, I hate to say it, I think it's going to be 27-21 Chiefs, unfortunately. I want the Eagles to win so bad. The Eagles are a more talented team. I think, obviously, the Chiefs are a better coach team. I do think they have the better quarterback. I hope to God the Eagles win. I will be rooting like crazy for the Eagles because I do not want the Chiefs to go for 3 in a row. But it is what it is. The Bengals weren't good enough this year. They're going to be better next year. We're going to go out and win this thing. Next week, Pitchers and Catchers Report. We're talking some baseball. And stay here. Stay tuned here. I will keep you updated for all the latest Bengals news, Reds news, all that stuff. Turn it up. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
Weekend nights, the city roars. Tune in loud, turn up some more. Cincinnati show, it's time to play. Sports with strawberry ice today. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. CTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ices on the mic, energy, it's good light. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Every touchdown, every goal. Feel the pulse, it's in your soul. Cincinnati heartbeats strong. Strawberry ice will lead the throng. Feel the crowd, it's electric now. Shouting loud, they all know how. CTV got what we crave. Sports with ice, it's waves and waves. Tigers strike and Bengals roar. Every game we want some more. Tune it in and feel the thrill. Strawberry ice, he's giving chills. 5:30 sharp, don't be late. TTV, the sports awaits. Strawberry ice, he's on the mic, energy, it's good light.